There we go. Good morning, everybody. So nice to see you. I see that Chris is already in chat. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Shimera and River. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I like how you can see in my chat that I was testing stuff because I just said test repeatedly, and I couldn't figure out how to clear that before the stream. So now you get to see. If you come like 15 or 20 minutes before I start streaming, that is what the chat looks like. Anyway, so today, we're gonna play some Slime Rancher because I think I talked about before how playing Don't Starve was kind of rough because it took me like several minutes every single time I transitioned to be like, what was I doing? Yeah, testing, everybody test. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. So we're gonna play Slime Rancher instead today because it's a bit more of a chill game. It's not so like if I do nothing for 5 minutes, I'm gonna die. So we're gonna play that. I got that idea from River, of course, from watching River play. And we're gonna talk about the main things I wanted to talk about today was basically like when good things happen and when bad things happen and how you deal with that. I made a whole PowerPoint this time. It's really exciting here. We're gonna play Slime Rancher first, but like I'll give you a little taste. Here's my beautiful little PowerPoint that I made, and I'm very excited about it. But we're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna start by playing a little bit of you're doing something right, like, and you're doing what you're interested in when you literally make a PowerPoint about it for fun, because that's what I did. But we are gonna start by playing a little bit of Slime Rancher first, I think. Put that on. Yeah, how are you guys doing this morning? I hope you had a good weekend. I did not get a whole lot done this weekend. There's a quarantine game going around. Alright, we're gonna play a new game. We're gonna just call this one stream. I don't wanna be like... I wanna be a kitty. I like how in this game, like, this is a pretty chill game to begin with, but they have casual on top of that, which is like the one threat to you besides like yourself. Oh, no, there's none of that. The one bad thing. We'll take it out for you. Had a great weekend. That's awesome. There's a quarantine game going around where you gather like 5 friends and you each fire up a PowerPoint presentation about something you're interested in. Like for me, it might be different kinds of dragons and why they're there. Is that a game? I mean, I'm into it. I love learning about things and I love listening to people talk about stuff they're interested in. But that just sounds like you're simulating school, which is fine. And there's 5 minutes after the PowerPoint presentation where people ask questions and such. Yeah, so we'll start with this. I do vaguely remember how to play. But yeah, the first thing we're gonna do when we get into the PowerPoint is we're gonna sorry, I gotta shift back, and we're gonna like do a little recap of last week to remember what we talked about and that sort of stuff, and then we'll get into new stuff. Welcome to what I was doing the other day. God, I had a lot of fun making that PowerPoint. I'm not much of a graphic designer, but I put like little graphics and little clip arts on like everything. It was really good. How do I play this again? Yes, I got it. Here you go. Eat it. I do mostly remember how to play this game. Yes, we'll do this. I don't know for how long. I know how to play a game. I should have turned off the tutorial. Oh, I forgot you don't start with the like jetpack thing. I make money. Yeah, this I feel like is just gonna be a much better sort of in between to go with the like mindset stuff, because the other game just kind of stressed me out, and so I think we'll reserve that for like Fridays and stuff. Hello, Beatrix. My name's Hobson Twilgers, rancher explorer and the former owner of this here ranch. I'm not gonna read all that, but yeah, we're just gonna hang out because I can't just, well, I was gonna say I can't just talk for 3 hours, but like clearly I can. But the other thing is, this is Mindset Monday #2, and I'm still gonna be figuring out timing and stuff. Like I believe the PowerPoint is like a little bit under, it's maybe like 25 slides or something like that, but I wasn't sure how long I'd be able to talk about each thing, but I guess we will see. I don't know why I just grabbed a bunch of slimes. I guess I'll just take them home with me. I just want the jetpack. I miss having the jetpack already. Okay. Alright, you can all live in here. I do feel like this game's really fun, but at some point it just becomes you just making tons of money and all you do is collect plorts. Because it would really stress me out when, like you can get the plort collector in this, and it would stress me out when it was full. So I'd always try to keep them empty, which is obviously hard. God, I have like no buddies. Voila. We know what this is. Dark market, that's okay. Yeah, my week, this week was a little bit up and down, which kind of was why, oh my god, you're so freaking tiny. My week was a little bit up and down, which is why I decided to make this presentation about what it is, because like an exciting thing happened, which was affiliate, and then something really frustrating happened, which was me dealing with what happened on Monday, or sorry, Wednesday. And we'll talk about that more a little bit later. Oh my god. What's it like to sleep for a whole year? Did you dream? I can't imagine what it's like. What's the far, far range like? You start exploring. Woo! Thank you. I don't want to read. This is a very interesting game. Wednesday stories. Yeah, we get to hear stories about my life and how I, like, laid on my bed for like an hour and, like, angry cried because I had a bad day. But it happens. Kind of reminds me of Splatoon. I've never played Splatoon, to be fair. Do they also have a vacuum? Oh, I can't go in there. It's just such a nice little game. This is one of those games I also, like, always end up coming back to because it's just really fun. Let's go find some other slimes. God, they're everywhere. Like, there's just no real danger, no real pressure. You're just hanging out. I don't want like 5,000 pink slimes. They're slimy, like snails. Exactly. God, I hope they're not slimy like snails. That would be rough. Snails are super cool, but I don't love that they get mucus all over you. Ah, rock slime. These slimes are totally metal. Get it? Or oh, we don't really do that. Yeah, so the slimes can combine together if they eat the, yeah, basically, like, these are their poops, and this is what you sell. And if, like, a little dude like this eats a pink poop, he becomes, ow. He becomes, like, this one. But if they eat two different kinds, they die. Well, they don't die, but they turn into, bad guys, and then you have to kill them, basically. I need to hear about biology of the slimes. Here's the thing. I don't know how much there is to, like, I don't know that they have, like, a skeleton. They must have a brain, I presume, but I don't know. They don't leave, like, well, they do leave, like, little bits of squish and stuff around, but not tons. Like, snails leave behind trails of mucus. But these guys don't. They just, like, when they flop down real hard, they leave, like, little puddles. So, I don't know. Also, I mean, they can just transform into other slimes. That's just fantasy. Got a lot of carrots, though. I need hypotheses. This one is a rock. Oh. Large slime hybrid form of the... You can't suck these guys up. That face they got doesn't say brain, it says airhead. But I mean, but they have eyes, so the eyes give input to the brain, and I don't know. They could be like, I presume the eyes are sort of complex like ours are, which means they probably need a brain for it. I don't know. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get up, it's ranching time. Good morning, Waddles. Good morning, Professor. Nice to see you. They're kind of opaque, so they may have a brain. It's possible. They maintain a shape in the air, which suggests that they have some kind of, like, anchoring, like a skeleton or something inside them. And it's very strange. Oh my god, the end of the stream keeps jumping around. Whee! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I just fucking launched a chicken. It's fine. Happy blobs. They're very happy blobs. Ow! Except a little bit pointy. I mean, the other interesting thing is, like, there's very... this is getting into, like, Wildlife Wednesday stuff, but it's fine, because we're here, we're talking about it. But there's... So there's... The main kind of animal you have here is the slimes, but they come in, like, lots of different, either, like, subspecies or even, like, breeds or stuff like that. And then there's a couple, like, there's chickens. And I'm not really sure there's other animals besides that. It ate the chicken, it did. It ain't Slime Rancher until someone lobs a chicken in the air. Yeah. There's different, like, subspecies or breeds of chicken, too. Oh my god. I will say I don't love watching them eat the chickens. It feels a little bad. I don't have a lot of space for more stuff. Maybe we'll head back. I love this. And they just, like, pop out of the ground. There's no explanation for that. They just exist, and they have no predators, apparently. I want to know how there's so many slimes, and yet there's still chickens around. Like, there's many more slimes than chickens. So how are the chickens surviving? What I want to know. I'm asking the real questions here. They're like lava, only the planet is filled with slime instead of plasma. God. They're everywhere. The biodiversity is very low here. Just saying. Theory with wads. Yeah. We'll probably play this for like the first half hour, so like 15 more minutes, and then we'll get into some other stuff. We're gonna talk about my very bad day. Hello, babies. Are you hungry? Have some carrots. It'd be nice if there was a way to just, like, empty all of the, things. I don't really know why I got these guys. They just hang out. I need to buy, various things. Like, I want this, really. But I should also get the high walls so they can't escape. Rock slimes will eat your veggies. That's okay. They can just vibe. They can roam freely. I'm okay with that. We're gonna do that first. And then we're gonna get that, I think. That's the easiest. Yeah, otherwise you have to like suck up everything, and it's a little annoying. It'd be cool if you could have settings on this to be like, I only want to pick up the plorts. Or whatever. The sounds they make. I mean, they're totally fine coming in and out of vacuums too, so they must be pretty flexible. Almost have 500. Give me that planks. The other thing too with this game is like you start off really. I mean, there's pink slimes everywhere, and you usually start off with them, but then their plorts become the least. I mean, they always are just like the basic ones, so you really don't want them. They quickly become just kind of an annoyance. have a carrot. Actually, maybe I'll give some carrots to the, Come here! Eat this. Oh, it stuck to him. That was fun. Eat it. Good job, buddy. Alright. Now we can get the port collector. Step 1 is this. I need to get a garden too. Like, I think what I've done before. Like my shirt. Thank you. It has bunnies and birds and squirrels on it. Anyway. I need to make a garden because I usually have like one garden per pen. So that's something else I should do. But I want this first. Although how much is a garden? $2.50. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And I don't think hold on, there's like a Slimepedia. Oh, look at this. We can do a little bit of slimeology. Alright. They'll eat everything. Chad is so tired today. Honestly, it's okay. I'm also tired. It is Monday, so I don't really expect people to be super hyped up. Oh, speaking of tired, I have pink slimes are the most common found on the range, or on the far range. They're cheerful, docile, and easiest of all to ranch. They'll eat anything. They have no favorite food, and yeah. Not much to worry about. They're soft, squishy, very happy to be around a rancher, and found all over the range. Because of this, rancher won't go far without finding a few pink plorts. Yeah. He's a sleepy boy. Too much late night round. That's fair. Again, I didn't do much this weekend, and I had like several sleepy gal days. Pink plorts are excellent multi-purpose genetic substance used to manufacture everything from food products to household products. I mean, the thing about the pink slimes, and I mean the slimes in general, is it's like animals aren't actually like this. Like, they're not really cheerful generally. Look at his little face though. This is probably not a game I'd play for Wildlife Wednesday, because I honestly have, like, where do you even start? What about dogs? The taxonomic system for slimes is very strange. It's very non-descriptive. Woz is denying the existence of dogs. Well, to be fair, I mean, these are all supposed to be in the wild, and animals in the wild are usually, like, afraid of people. Which is how it should be. But I guess there's nothing eats them here. And they just, like, live in utopia. So I don't know how overcrowding doesn't happen, frankly. It's all very strange. She's like a dyslexic atheist denying the existence of dog. This game, if you think about it too hard, is, like, kind of rough. Like, you just come to this planet and start yoinking animals out of the wild and putting them in cages and force feeding them to get their poop to sell. And look how freaking happy they are about it. Welcome to Wod's stream, where we make everything sad. Ow! Wods has never seen a quokka? I don't know what that is, so you're right, I have not. Alright. Wild animals who are always happy and friendly. I mean, capybaras are like the mom friend of animals. Look up quokka. Alright, hold on. Well, one moment. Quokkas are adorable, aren't they also very dumb? You people just turning my... Wait. Oh, I see what's happened here. There's just no predators on the island. Well, like, whoops, nope, that's not what I wanted. Capybaras are kind of like that, and it's just like, animals just like coexisting with them. Oops. Quokkas, oh, they're really cute. I have seen one of those. About the size of a domestic cat. They're just very cute, but the happiest animal in the world. Do quokkas throw their babies? God. I stand corrected. There's a happy animal. I mean, looking happy doesn't necessarily mean happy, but like capybara. They're just like, there's all these pictures. I think I used to follow a Tumblr, if I even, where it's just pictures of other animals with capybaras, and they'd hang out with like crocodiles, they'd hang out with birds, like they just, everything likes them. Dude, are they friendly? They make good pets. God, are they dangerous? What is the saddest animal in the world? Oh wait, not that. Not this. Polar bear. Aww. Okay, anyway. We're gonna get back to Slime Rancher. I need to, okay, we'll play a little bit more Slime Rancher, and then we'll, you people get me off topic. It's okay. These guys are really cute. These are the phosphorus slimes. I think, holy fuck, they're fast. Get back here. Get back here! Hey! God! What? Oh my god! Oh my god, they're gone! Wait, they're coming down. They're coming down. Oh my god. That was wild. Anyway, I don't want that one yet, but it's crazy. Maybe I'll start with gathering like the rock boys. We'll see. We'll see. Because really the pink ones aren't that useful in terms of money, and I'm all about the money. Ow! Yeah, I'm gonna collect a bunch of these guys. It's all about that cash money. The entire cave system was sealed off from a cave-in. Maybe that's why the fellas are headed so grumpy. Oh yeah, I forgot there was like the feral boys in this. We named the slime Benjamin. Banjies. They're all Banjies. This is probably fine. Whee! Oh, there's a door over here, isn't there, that I don't think I can open yet. Yep. I need a key. I don't remember how I get keys, but I'm sure I will figure it out. I have faith. Look at their little angry faces. Ow! Look at them! Angry. Yeah. You're a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. Just want rock boys. Yeah, they're angry boys. Alright. Just need all of these. Ow. This is dangerous, this game. Ow. Also, I don't know if they can swim, so like, maybe their population is controlled by them just falling into the water. Could be. Ow. Okay, we'll finish collecting these rock slimes and go back. Try jumping in. You'll die. You die if you jump in. I can't swim in this game. The problem is when this happens and there's just like the largos everywhere, but you don't want the pink ones. I don't want the pink ones. The poop right by the nest. You can vacuum in all the water, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's where I came from. I don't remember. No, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. We're gonna go home. I'm gonna sell these blurts. And then we're gonna talk about what happened last week and stuff. We'll see how far we get. Chimera thinks we're playing Super Mario Sunshine, which honestly is a great game. I've never played that game. Thank you, thank you. Like, I don't even really need to ranch them. I could just spend my whole life going around the outside, like, picking them up. Be free. You can also absolutely, like, kill them by just shooting them into the water, which is pretty messed up. Hi, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna put the, put the pink ones back, I think. We're gonna, put the rock boys in here instead. Whoa! Hola! That could be a good retro game night game. Oh my god, are you doing retro games? Is that what you're gonna do now? Let's make WODs play games from our childhood. Oh god. I don't know how to stream that on stream, yeah. Okay, so I think now we'll get into some PowerPoint stuff. I need to recapture my screen 1 second here. Oh no. Oh god. Don't do this to me right now, thing. My window capture does not want to work at this particular moment. What if I close this? How about that? Dang it, I had it all set up and ready and then I just changed something now and now it's mad at me. Please! Wait, what about that? Huh? How if I do that? Technical difficulties. There we go. I got it. Oh god, I missed some messages. That'd be a super fun. Are you doing that? I was seriously considering it. I think that would be super fun. Oh my god, I would totally watch you play Banjo-Kazooie. I like that game a lot. I haven't played it, but I just watched people play it. Diddy Kong Racing. I'll take a look at some emulators to see how that will work. Yeah, Oregon Trail. Yeah, that sounds fun. That's not really a math game. Listen, anything can be broken down into math if you want it to be. Alright. So here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's Mindset Monday number 2. Here's what's on the docket for today. We're going to do a little recap of last week. Can you see my mouse? It's okay if you can't. Oh, you can. Okay. We're going to talk about Where Do I Start Part 2, because it's something we started talking about last week, and there was a couple points I think I wanted to add. We're going to talk about what do you do when bad things happen. We're going to talk about what do you do when good things happen. Anything is math. How many buffalo do we need to shoot? Jesus. There must be an equation for that. Alright. I'm ready? Here we go. So, we talked about quite a lot of stuff last week. So we talked about, how to break down your goals into the little pieces. So that was like the dreams, long-term goals, short-term goals, and then breaking that down into projects and steps. And so the divide with that was like your dreams and your goals are usually stuff you can't control. They're like results. So you want to focus on the things you can control, which is projects and steps. And you want to break it down like to as little teeny tiny as possible to make it as easy as possible for yourself. And we talked about focusing on the small steps while keeping an eye on the big picture. So that was basically like, if you get too caught up thinking about your big dream, your big goal, you're not gonna get the same like dopamine rush from achieving the smaller goals or like the smaller steps. But you still want to keep an eye on the big picture because it feels good. It feels even better when we achieve things and we get to celebrate that, but we also get to see the progress we make towards the bigger goal. And we talked about, I showed my sort of my goal sheet, and how I break it down and how I personally work on things, which has been working quite well for me. We talked about defining your goals. So basically that was like talking about turning goals like I want to be famous on Twitch into actual concrete numbers, because goals like that, you actually know when you'd reach them. Because more general goals like I want to be famous, that could mean anything. It means different things to different people. So figuring out what it means to you is a very important step. Tea break. We also talked briefly about scaling investment in commitment, or sorry, scaling investment with commitment. And this was sort of an aside, but it was sort of something that I believe that you shouldn't invest a ton of time or money into something before you're sure it's what you want to do. Like, it's better to take little steps. And so with like streaming, it would be like getting sort of the bare minimum setup, which is what I feel like I have right now. And as you commit more and as you realize if it's something you really like and want to do, or if it's something where you try and you find out you don't want to do it, then you haven't invested as much. And also, it can give you an extra incentive if, you know, you want to give yourself little rewards when you complete like a short-term goal or a long-term goal. I think that's a very good way to do it. That's everything on that side. And then we talked about momentum, which is if you take one little step towards a goal or a project or whatever, then you have become a person who can take a step, and so it's even easier to take the next step, and then the next step, and the next step. And appealing to your sense of identity. That says self. That's supposed to say sense, but I don't think I can edit it on here. It's okay, it doesn't matter. But appealing to your sense of identity, which basically means, while I want to be a famous streamer is not the most concrete and thus actually achievable of goals because you don't know what it means, having that as part of your goal and then being able to define it further is a really good way to do it, because people are more likely to do things and care about things that have to do with their sense of self, because not every one of your actions don't necessarily make you that kind of person. Going for one run does not necessarily make you a runner. But having a goal like wanting to be a runner can push you to do things that you think runners do. And then this is a big point, this next one, that I will probably come back to repeatedly over time, but it's basically that you get a choice between love and fear. Like, in any situation, whatever is stopping you from doing something you want to do, it's usually fear. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Oh no, there we go, that's better. And this is a big thing I've realized lately, because a lot of times when there's something you want to do, or laziness? What are you referring to? Like, there's another sort of side to this that I'll get to at some other point in terms of like when you don't want to do things, which can turn out as like laziness or like procrastination stuff. I get lazy about going to the gym. See, but the thing about that, for me at least, and that's a good example, is I don't like going to the gym. But I know I feel better when I'm active, but I don't like the gym. So what I do instead is I find things I actually like doing. Because some people do like just commit themselves to doing something like going to the gym because they like the results, they like how they feel afterwards. But I really wanted to be doing something where I was actually enjoying the action as well as the result. Because I do know people who go to the gym and they don't enjoy it, but they have made a good habit of doing it, which is, it's totally fine. Although, what I've done lately is I go for a walk every day, and I just recently got my old bike fixed because I want to try biking, because I think I really like being outside. I really like being outside, and I love listening to music and doing that kind of thing. I hate running though. So I was like, maybe I'll try biking. I do think like stuff like laziness and stuff like that is, I mean, we can come back to that at the other point, but basically, to get back to my point, in any given situation, you get to choose, like, self-love or love for someone else, or you get to choose fear. So in the case of streaming and stuff like that, you might stop yourself from doing it because, well, what if you fail? And what if people think it's dumb or people don't support you and stuff like that? That's all fear. And you figure out what you really enjoy and what you want to do by repeatedly practicing picking, you know, the love option. Picking the option that actually feels good. And that sort of thing. And people act out of fear all the time, constantly, and a lot of the time subconsciously. We think we're totally justified in not doing things. We're getting to the last point again, so I'll come back to that. The next point is you already know what you're interested in, and it was basically like that came back to like, how do I get started? And generally people already know what they're passionate about and what excites them and that kind of thing. And so you probably already know the area you're interested in. And if you don't, just asking yourself stuff like, well, if I could be doing anything and get paid for it, what would I do? Or just even if I could be doing anything and I didn't have to worry about money, what would I be doing? And then to come back to sort of what we were talking about before, we are expert excuse makers. We're really, really good at it. And we feel very justified making our excuses. So excuses are often things like, I don't have time, or, you know, it's probably not gonna work, or I just don't want to do it. Those aren't exactly excuses, but people really like to give into their fear and then blame outside sources for it. So stuff like, I don't have time. That's not true, because you have a lot of time, and you might have things you prioritize over doing whatever thing is, and that's okay. But it's not that you don't have time, it's that you're choosing to do other things with your time. And that can be either a positive or negative thing. Because if you are using that time to do things like take care of your kid, that's a very good and worthwhile thing to do with that time. Or if you're doing stuff that you're interested in, or that are nourishing to you, that's great. But if you don't have time, but you also spend several hours a day playing video games or being on your phone or watching Netflix, like, you do have time. And it's not necessarily that you have to cut out all of those things. But if you really, really want to do something, you will find time for it. That's what it is. Alright. I'm gonna be honest, I made this like last night and like a couple days ago. Don't remember what's on the next slide. It's gonna be an adventure for everyone. Oh yeah, so this is where do I start part 2. So we did talk about a little bit in this last slide. Like, you already know what you're interested in. And even if you are like hearing me say that or like reading that and you're thinking to yourself that like you don't know what you're interested in, like you don't know what you want to do, it's probably just because you haven't like taken a serious look at it. So we all have interests, so figuring out what interests you and why can be a good step. And it's what can be hard with this is when we let our fear sort of bog down our interests. I, for a long time, told myself that I wasn't going to do the whole streaming thing or YouTube thing, even, or like performance, even being an actor or stuff like that, because it wasn't practical and stuff like that. So that was an interest that I like sort of mostly just shoved down and tried not to deal with because I didn't want to. But like figuring out what interests you is one part. And that's just figuring out what is something you would go and do a ton of research about just for fun? What is something you love talking about with people whenever you get the chance to? You know, what are your hobbies? That kind of thing. And then the why can also be useful because, say, if you're trying to figure out what you want to do for like a job or something, figuring out what interests you so much about what you're interested in can be very helpful. Because for something like streaming or performance, people might be looking for different things out of it. People, like, usually what people are looking for at the base is, like, human connection, but that could be, like, I want to be really good at a game and I want people to watch me be really good at a game, or I want to be someone who is educating other people and helping other people, or I want to be something who's entertaining other people, who's really funny. So those are all kind of different things, and you'd be getting kind of different things out of them doing each of them. So taking a look at what is so interesting about that to you is a good step forward if you're not sure what you want to do. And then that comes down to, like, another sort of little exercise is like, what excites you? What have been your proudest moments, and why? Like, was it when you got really good grades in school, or when you got a promotion, and stuff like that? And why was it a good moment? Is it because other people were looking up to you? Is it because you felt rewarded for all your hard work? That kind of thing. Those can be, like, doing that sort of exploration into yourself can be super duper helpful. Oh god, I've had so much tea already this morning. I'm gonna have to pee soon. And then along with that, it's what values do you admire / want others to see in you? So that kind of goes back to the thing of, like, so you want to be a streamer, say, like, do you want to be more an educational streamer or an entertaining streamer or, like, a highly skilled streamer? So with that, one of the things you can do is look at people you think are really cool, and look at people who you think are, like, the coolest people ever, and why is that? What values do they have that are so inspiring, you know? And then this kind of comes back to the excuses thing, but, like, what is stopping you? And this can be a lot of things. I mean, again, usually it comes down to fear, because as we talked about last time, and I think I put this up here, but I didn't talk about it, which is, we're really good at making excuses, but I guarantee you that someone who, like, had your excuse got past it and achieved success. And I use the example of Ray Charles, who was, he suffered financial trouble, and he was a black man, so he probably faced a lot of racism, and he faced a lot of financial trouble. He lost a lot of his family. So he, like, went through all sorts of things, like almost everything you can imagine, and he still became wildly successful. So it's like, whatever excuses you have, you need to figure out what the root of them is to be able to move past them. And I'll give you the answer that is, it's pretty much always fear. I can't think of any time where it's not, but I don't like to speak in, like, always or nevers. So I'm going to say it's pretty much always fear. So this is back to working with fears and excuses again, which is, so one thing I didn't mention last time that I thought about after and I wanted to mention was that we don't get to decide our circumstances. We don't get to decide the color of our skin or where we're born or what our family is like or anything like that. And people, obviously, in some cases are a lot more privileged, and so what they want to do would probably be a lot easier to achieve if they have, if they're born into a family with more money, or if they don't have, barriers to themselves, like, people who experience racism, or people who are disabled, or people who are LGBT. Like, there's so many things that we don't get to control, and it's sort of like your circumstances decide your level of difficulty. They don't decide whether you can do something or not, but they do sort of determine, like, how much work you're going to have to do to get there. Because the reality of our world, unfortunately, is that some people have to work a lot harder to get to the same place as other people, which sucks. But it is what it is. And it again comes back to, you can only control what you can control, and that is what you have to focus on. So, another point with this is, are you letting outside forces dictate what you can and can't do? So that comes right back to the, are you focusing on what you can control? It is okay to feel that your circumstances are making things harder. That's okay. But if you have decided that you can't do something because you don't have time, or you don't have enough money, or because the people around you are not supportive, then that is a story you are telling yourself. And so you want, if you feel like you're stuck in a place where you have an excuse that's really sticking, you can ask yourself, who would you be without that story? So it's kind of like, who would you be without that fear? Who would I be if I didn't care so much that people liked me or what people think? I would be probably a lot happier and a lot more confident. And I'm working towards that. And imagining how great it would be if I could just completely disregard what other people thought of me. It's pretty inspiring in itself, in my opinion. So now we talked about sort of like excuses and stuff like that, and this, like it says, is coming back to the whole momentum thing we talked about, where getting started is usually the scariest and the hardest part of the whole thing. And deciding you're going to do something, and I mean really deciding, like deciding that nothing is going to stop you, that is a huge step in the right direction. But deciding that you're going to do something does not automatically mean everything is going to be okay. This is also something I talk about later, but I think sometimes what can happen is we hit a point where we're like, oh, this is it, like it's all kind of uphill from here, and it's not like that. I don't think it's ever like that for anybody. You never just hit a point of success where it's only success from there on out. So it's important when you want to do something to decide you're going to do it and not let anything stop you. And if you decide down the road that it's not for you, that's okay. But I think what can sometimes happen is people decide they're going to do something, and as soon as it gets hard, they don't do it anymore, and they give up, and they take that as a sign that it's not what they're meant to be doing anyways. And that's a choice you're making. And that is not what it means to really commit to something. And it again comes back to fear, because if you don't fully commit to believing that something is going to work, then you don't have to be as upset when it doesn't work. But again, that comes back to something we talked about before, which is, if you expect nothing, you're a lot more likely to get nothing. Because even if you like consciously think it's helping, subconsciously you're going to act in a way where you're just protecting yourself, and you're less likely to allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you're putting out low frequency energy, so you're going to get low frequency back. And if you're high frequency, if you expect good things, if you know good things have happened and thus they can happen again, then you are a lot more likely to do well. I think, yeah. We're not going to go to the next slide yet. I have to pee, and then I think we'll get back to Slime Rancher for a little bit. And then we'll come back, and you might have seen a little bit of the next slide. We're going to talk about, what do you do when bad things happen? So I will be right back. Take an opportunity to maybe like do a little stretch, drink some water. I'll be back soon. Alrighty, I am back, and we're gonna get back into Slime Rancher. This is really good tea today, by the way. It's green tea, but like, I don't know, it's just hitting different today. Alright, we gotta get rid of these pink slimes, because I definitely don't need them right now. God, I love the sound of chickens. I will say one thing I do remember about this game is the fact that... Oh god, what if I just yeet them off the side? Am I a bad person if I just... Look, they're just gonna go for a ride. Whee! I'm sure they're fine on the other side. They're probably fine. But I do remember in this, it's like you can make gardens, or you can make like coops. So you can have either the slimes that eat fruit or veggies, or you can have the ones that eat meat. But the coops are like way harder to maintain, and they just don't give you as much, and so they're just not as good. And so it's better to combine the slimes to make certain largos, and then any of the ones that what was I saying? Any of the ones that you want that eat meat, you just combine them with something that doesn't eat meat, and then you're set. It's gonna take all these kiddos out of the wild. It's totally fine. Holy crap. Oh my god, I could get the kitty ones too. I might make kitty rock largos. We'll see. Kitty water. I can't have the water yet. I'd like to get those guys at some point too, but not yet. Because the goal is to have like every kind of port. Except I probably won't bother with the pink ones. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I want to get some tabbies and some rock boys. The nice thing too is like I only really need like one tabby slime to get the whole thing started. With Yep, come here. Ooh, ooh. Because the tabby ones. Oh crap. You can turn the tabby ones or the rock ones into the largos, which is nice. Freaking pink dudes just messing with the day. I don't remember. Stop! Stop it! Stop it! Mine's hungry. Come here. Okay, that's probably enough, I feel like. I need to... Okay, I have a couple of plorts. I wonder if it's enough to get me to 50 so I can make a farm. Ooh! There's a box, but I'm just gonna take it with me because I don't have the space right this moment. I don't want to smash it because I'm gonna use it. Because I think the rock slime's like Q berries or something. Or maybe... No. I think they eat veggies, right? So I think they like the heartbeat veggie. Oh god, please don't smash my box. Can I just like put this down gently? I don't remember. I'm afraid of letting it go now. Yeah, I think we'll start with the rock tabbies, and then we'll probably maybe figure out what to combine the phosphor boys with. Oh my god, there's some in here. Wow. Like if I just put the guppy. Perfect. Wonderful. In you go. God, that's gonna be a lot of largos. Hey, I'm gonna need a roof. I'm gonna need a roof. How much a roof? Okay, well. Ooh, that's okay, it's just enough. Because I'm pretty sure those kitty ones can jump pretty high. Which is not ideal. Get in there. Stay in there. Yeah. And I think I had to jump out for work stuff. I was watching and listening for a while. No problem. No problem. I appreciate it. Yeah, they like heartbeats. And they like stony heads. These guys like cuberries. Okay, so for now, I might just have to go get a carrot. For now, we're gonna smash this against the wall first. Yeah, no, that just gave me a hint. Okay. I also don't want... What? What's this? Oh, yes, I know. Thank you. I don't want the pink ones running around, because I don't feel like they're gonna mess stuff up. Get out of here. Let's go find me a carrot. Ugh. Well, is there carrots anywhere? Everybody got carrots? You have carrots? Hello? Carrots. I heard that port come out. Yeah. Alright, someone here must have carrots. Carrots? Nope. Dang it, I picked them all up already. Somewhere. Oh my god. Hungry boy. See, they're not always happy. Sometimes they're hungry. Understandable. Oh, I can't wait for lunch. Speaking of which. That's why they absorb the chickens. God, I don't like the idea that they just absorb their food. I think there's a term for that. I want to say it's like called phagocytosis or something. Hold on. Phagocytosis. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. It's the process by which cells use their plasma membrane to engulf large particles. You say mitosis, yeah? Yeah. I don't like that. Yeah, mitosis. What did one cell say to the other one? It stepped... Wait, that's not right. What did one sister cell say to the other? When she stepped on her toe. Ow, mitosis. I tried. Osmosis change. It stepped. Yeah. That joke did not come out the way I wanted to, but that's okay. I make funny joke. Funny biology joke. I'll be here all week. Perhaps there's some carrots. In here, there's cuberries, which is good. Gonna need those at some point. Maybe I'll take them with me now. Although I have to build a whole nother pen for that. Okay, there's no carrots over here. Oh, it says it's dangerous over here, but it's not. There's not even any danger. The kitty! I forgot these guys. What are they called? I forgot these guys existed. Oh, they're Gordos. Oh my god, look at his mouth. You can just hop right in there. Please don't do that. Which could. Which means I need to get a shit ton of chickens. Not chicks, though. They won't eat chicks. Which is weird, but good. The game has some morals. Chickadoo. So little and soft you'd think they're filled with marshmallow. Thank God the frickin' slimes won't eat them. Although it is a weird separation for them to not eat the babies, but that's fine. Chicken! It used to be- oh god. When I used to do the snake presentations and stuff, I would talk about how, snakes eat baby birds, like some snakes do. And people didn't like that very much, but like, at the same time, like, some snakes, or some birds eat baby snakes, so like, circle of life, my friend. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all. Please give me carrots. Yeah, birds are savages, I agree. How's my throat doing? It's okay. It's not like 100%, like it still feels a little funky, but I think lots and lots of tea is helping. Oh my god, they're hungry. Gotta keep them in. I haven't found any carrots yet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You got these chickens though. If you want. Oh, look at that guy. He escaped. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, lesson learned though, to like not do a regular stream right after doing a big old karaoke stream. That was my bad. Oh, they're escaping. Ah! This one's happy and it escaped still. Get back in there. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? They get his free roam until I get enough money to get a roof. When would the carrots come back? Peace. What's this? Oh my god, the place I shot all those, well, I'm sure they all landed over here safe and sound. I'm sure it's fine. They must grow. Oh god. It's gonna die. It's gonna die in the sunlight. Right? Don't they die in the sunlight? No, he's just vibing. Why were you in that box, huh? What were you doing? I thought the whole thing with them was like they couldn't come out during the day. But this one's chilling. He's vibing. Oh my god. Please be careful. He just exploded! Pucked game. Could be. I mean, it seemed to work. Carrots! I got carrots. Okay. Now we can contain the children. They're everywhere. There we go. Eat that. I still need to get... Just... Stop. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit before they're all, and stuff. I have that's really helpful. I'm not gonna do that. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea. Or, no. I think the Q berries and stuff, they go bad if you leave them on the ground too long. Okay, we gotta find more money. We gotta... Hey. Oh, there's carrots. Carrots growing. I take all these. Come on, carrots, grow! Alright. It's fine. And if we find any more of, yeah, these, I might just give them to the pink guys. Because, yeah, girl needs money. Eat it. God, they just poop instantly. Oops. Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it. This is gonna be good. It'd be like 400 to contain those boogers, but it's gonna be worth it because if they all get out and start eating stuff and pooping, it's gonna be a huge tar mess. So, I don't want to do that. I wonder what happens if you turn off the tars. Like, do they just not eat another plort after? So I could make sure my honking was good. There we go. 8 is not a lot. Please! Eat your poops. And also more carrots. Carrots. Excellent. He's stuck. He's stuck! Ow. You ever just feed a bunch of wild animals to collect their poops? Plort is a good word. I agree. Good morning, Sam. And also, you know, other Sam, who's already here. Welcome. Oh, God. Oh, God. We're just doing some fine ranching. Sam hype. Yeah. Oh god. Oh god. Ooh. Ooh. No! You little booger! Eating up my money! No! It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're having a good time right now. Oh, a message. I had a great big tree like this one here along the edge of my property back on Earth. It had been there before anyone could remember. It survived all kind of change around it, and then one day I began to notice it was dying. Wasn't anything unnatural, was just its time, I suppose. And then I realized if I didn't do something, I'd end up like that tree. I'd spend my whole life in the same place. I wasn't gonna let that happen, so I bought a ticket for the far, far range the very next day. We gotta have Waddle's ranching cosplay, some overalls and a straw hat. Sam's stronger together. I have a straw hat somewhere. I do not have overalls. I've always wanted to get overalls. I have a plaid shirt I could put on. I don't know where my straw hat is. But, you know, if you want to be immersed. Although it's kind of warm in my room, so that might not be the best plan. Bap! Alright, we're gonna go home now. Howdy, partner. Get along, little slimes, I say get! Yeah, I wish I had like a lasso or something so I could stop them from being annoying. Alright, we gotta go back. But if there's carrots, you know, I won't get some carrots. There is none. Yeehaw! What if there was like a big slime that I could ride like a horse? What a freaking time that would be. I should add that to this game immediately. I don't have any room. Oh, there's so many carrots. I'll come back for those ones. God, they're gonna be everywhere. Oh, okay, actually, none of them got out. That's impressive. Good job, little dudes. Also, there's this whole thing with this game about, like, market prices and stuff, and I usually just don't really pay attention to it, to be perfectly honest. Like, because you can keep things in silos until the prices get better, but, like, at a certain point, you just have so many that, like, what are you gonna do? There you go, my hungry children. Yes. Yes. Deploy. Give them. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Get back in there. Overcrowding is not a real thing. It's propaganda. God. God. Please. Stop it. Get in there. I can't wait for this to hit. Body like a pig. Oh! God, if I knew that song better, I would sing it right now. How's it go? Body like a pink slime. Ranching all of the time. I know every slime like the back of my hand. Ranching on the far range. It ain't even that strange. I'm gonna take it slow, just as fast as I can. I'm an expert parody writer, you're welcome. Help me out and I'll make sure you get what's owed. Alright. What do you want? Oh, you want my carrots? Think the fuck not, woman. Oh, Shabarido. Is there a Canadian country music? Yes? There must be. I don't know any Canadian country artists off the top of my head, though. Yeehaw! Please just stay in the pan. Please. Okay. We could probably do this. I need 4 carrots, 4 Q berries, and 5 phosphor slimes. There's definitely carrots out and about. Pop jam, pop jam, pop jam. Oh, thank you for the 7 bits, Math Pop. I appreciate that. Right, I don't need these, but take it up anyway. Feed to the slimes later. No, I need to go get Q berries. I need a slot for the phosphor slimes when they decide to come out, which would be any time now. Hey. That one. Okay, I have enough carrots. Okay. Oh, carrots. Right. Come here. Come here. I'm just gonna sell you. It's fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. There's only one place I know where there's Q berries. Way over here. Oh, yes! It's like a piñata! 7 for the dwarf lords and their hall of stone. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Yep. Dang it! Ow! There's somewhere else where there's Q berries. Ow! Please! Please stop! Oh my god, I have like no health. I have no health. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop. Please, please. Oh god. What a nightmare. Oh my god. Goodbye! I don't know where else there's Q berries, sadly. So, this may be it. I might just stop Yo to give her what she wants. I might not get that money. Oh, sad. Oh! Slimes in the deep, beware of the slime rog of, oh god, Khazad-dûn. Alright, we have the stuff we need. Cobbit, I'm Cobbit Thora. Okay. God, this game's fun. Sometimes I forget how fun it is. Pick up all the points. I wanna be rich! I wanna be rich, rich, rich. I'm really good at getting tea on my nose. Oh. Random animal fact. Oh, let me pull up my random animal fact document. I forgot to pull that up this morning. Because I had some interesting ones on here. So we talked about the glider squibs already. Here's one I don't think I've talked about yet. I told someone this, but not on here. So you're this is based on like 2019 data, by the way, but you're more likely to die from a firework accident than a shark attack. I feel like I talked about this, but I might have just talked about it with like Sam or someone. Doesn't matter. We're still gonna talk about it. So in 2019, there was actually 105 confirmed shark attacks on people, 40% of which were provoked, which means people were like touching the sharks or trying to feed the sharks, or they were spearfishing near them, stuff like that. So that means almost half of all shark attacks in 2019 were basically the people's fault. I mean, arguably you could say it's all people's fault, because as soon as you're in a shark's environment, like, you're in the shark's house now. And the United States had the highest rate of provoked attacks, which was 65%, and I believe of all the states, Florida had the highest rate underneath that. So don't go be touching sharks. How about that? There's your fact. Poor sharks, they get all the bad press. Yeah, it's really... It's one of those things where it's like people are scared of sharks and stuff like that, and like, oh, sharks are evil and stuff. But sharks and other animals, like, they're just doing what animals do. It's kind of on you if you go into their environment and you're expecting them to not act like sharks. Oh, you're so cute. 5 phosphor slimes, 4 carrots, and 4 blueberries. Amazing. Thank you. Yay, now I have money and I can make another pen and stuff. Oh Christ, Florida man strikes again. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they are on, like, a lot of coast and also Floridians. Okay. Pop that. There we go. There we go. Now they can't get out. I played Florida Man in D&D once. Like, that was your character? That's really funny. Ooh, more carrots. Thank you. Yeah, we'll take all that. You know, part of me aspires to be as fearless as a Florida man. You know, they're living their fullest life. Ow. Oh, hey, get back in there. Oh, I forgot I don't have the auto. I'm so used to playing my game where I played a lot and had like all the things. I don't have any space for that. I'll come back. Okay, can't do that. I can't just hold them. Okay, that's fine. Ah, we're rolling in it now. Excuse me. D&D Florida man. Truly. I have a D&D this Friday. Should mark that on my calendar. Okay. The lovely river. Lovely in town. Up, 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 up. Up. Well, whatever. I don't want these to be on the floor. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make the phosphor pink slimes next, I think. Yeah, then I need Q berries for that. One day I hope to play D&D Florida Man 2. Someone homebrewed a character type. I was a gator wrangler who worshipped the great alligator of the sewer. Honestly, that's ideal. What more could you want? Just gonna get the high walls and the airnet just to start with, because, you know. Yeah, let's move that way. Okay. And nighttime is a good time to go get the phosphor slimes. Yep. Although I suppose I could have just, well, I'll collect the phosphor slimes I can, because it's probably easier to get the pink plorts. God, that sounds so cool. Honestly, I love that idea. You... This same game is so cute. It is! Good morning, Emily. I hope you're doing well. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming and joining. Just trying to make my fortune. And also, I think soon we'll pause and we'll talk about more things. We're gonna talk about my bad day. That bad day I had. Gotta keep hyping up. Oh, heck yeah. I'll take all of these. Thank you very much. No, these also. Need more phosphor slimes, please. Please, can I have some more? Of the phosphor boys. Gotta get them. I'm doing well. Just finished teaching 2 classes and working on some lunch now. Ooh, what are you gonna have for lunch? Have to glue my belt back together, so I currently have wood glue all over my fingies. Oh no! Okay, hello. Beast Boy Phosphorus Lives. Oh, there's one. Just take this with me. You're gonna come to my house and stay forever and ever. I'm in between a caprese sandwich and pasta. Ooh, that sounds really good. I'm gonna make avocado toast for lunch, probably. Finally got avocados again. Oh. Avocado toast. Damn it! Oh. I mean, that would have been okay, but I can only carry one lad at a time. Please don't go over the edge. Thank you. That's where it came from. Hard to see. I think I'm going the right way. Or am I? Yes, this is my home. Okay. Also got the ingredients for California Benedict. California Benedict. What is that? Like eggs Benedict with that sauce, which is I cannot remember what it's called. But it's like butter and egg, and I can't do it. There we go. Let them all go. Good job, little dudes. Can I get the plort collector for this one? I can't. Great. I need to go get blueberries now. I'm also just gonna put this in here for now. Eggs Benedict with tomato, avocado, and red onion. That does sound good. Although, I think egg and avocado is delicious. God, maybe I'll make that for lunch. But yeah, hollandaise. I have tried hollandaise. I can't do it. I get why people like it, but it's not for me. Actually, okay, I'm gonna take a pause. There, I'm gonna go pee again because I had so much freaking tea. Hollandaise! Hollandaise. And we'll go get Q-berries after this. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom again real quick, and then we'll talk about some stuff, and we'll look at my fancy PowerPoint. I'll be right back. I'm back. I did not put on the fancy music this time. To be fair, I knew I was gonna be back very soon. If I know I'm gonna be gone for a bit longer, I can put on the music. I can also put it on in the background if you guys want, but we have the Slime Rancher in the background right now. You could form a brunch club called Friends with Bennies. Ho ho! Anarchy. You're a little late for anarchy, Chris. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the next little thing I wanted to talk about, which is when bad things happen. And here's the bad egg. Here it is. The bad egg. So this is sort of the breakdown of what we're going to talk about. So number one is Wad's had a rough morning last Wednesday, which you guys probably know about, but we're going to talk about it in a little more detail and how I got through it and stuff like that. Bad egg. And so bad things, like when I talk about bad things, I mean things that are outside your control, that like when things don't go the way you want them to, like you don't get the job you wanted, or you know, your video doesn't get the views you thought it would, stuff like that. Like when you're disappointed, basically. I want to talk about how they're a very important part of the process, and that kind of goes back to what I was talking about here with getting started, which is getting started is the hardest part, and it's a big step in the right direction, but it does not guarantee you that nothing will go wrong. In fact, it is almost guaranteed that things will go wrong, and that's okay, and that's actually a good thing, and it's part of the process, and it's part of how you learn. We're going to talk about how it can spiral downwards, and we're going to talk about resilience and how you can make it not spiral downwards, basically. Wait 1 second. Oh god, oh Lord in heaven. Okay, it's fine. Almost just gifted us up by accident. It's fine. So here we go. What's had a rough morning. So, as you guys probably know, last Wednesday I was going to do my first. Was it my first official? I don't know. One of my first official like Wildlife Wednesday streams, and I was super duper excited about it. And like I'd been hyping it up, and other people had been hyping it up. Like I had gone into like a new friend's stream, and he was like talking about it, and he was excited, and he was like recommending it to his friends, and so like it just felt like it was just very hyped up, and I was so excited for it to happen. And then when it came the day for it to happen, my computer was having issues, and I couldn't stream. I had to update it, and it would not work if I was not updating it, and the update ended up taking like an hour or more, and by the time it was done, I was in such a bad headspace, and it was so far into like when I would have been streaming that I was like, we're not gonna do it today. And it felt awful. It was devastating. I was so freaking excited, and so when it happened, I was so disappointed. It felt like some kind of sign from the universe that I was doing something wrong, and like it just felt awful. I was like laying on my bed with my computer beside me, like watching it update, and I just wanted to cry. I think I did cry at some point, but like I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted it to work so bad, and me just wanting it to work so bad was not making it work any faster. So it was really rough. It was a bad time. I had a bad time. And I feel like this kind of stuff happens not frequently, but it definitely does happen. And I think what can sort of happen because of it is when we get started on our journey, it's the scariest part. And if something goes wrong, especially towards the beginning of your journey, it can often feel like this is some sort of sign that I'm not supposed to be doing this, or it can sort of like take our fear and like solidify it and validate it. Like, of course I shouldn't have done this because I knew it wasn't going to work out and things were going to go wrong, and I shouldn't have done it, and I'm a failure, you know? So it's very easy to get carried away with that kind of stuff. But here's the thing, right? When you have decided to undertake something, and you have decided you want to reach a goal that is not easy to reach, it's gonna be hard. It's supposed to be hard. If things were easy, then everybody would do them. It is supposed to be hard. And you learn the most when things are hard. And change is often very uncomfortable. One of my favorite little sayings to myself and beliefs I have is that you learn the most when you're kind of uncomfortable. That's not quite it, but basically it's like these days when I find like something feels uncomfortable, I usually lean into it harder instead of leaning away. I'm talking about feelings. I don't like sit uncomfortable in a chair and then like make myself more uncomfortable just for the fun of it. Don't do that. But usually if something is bothering me and my brain's just like, whoa, no, we're not gonna deal with that, we're not gonna look at that, I'm like, that is clearly something that I need to give more time and more energy. And it's the same thing here, is when things go wrong, it exposes our fears. It can expose like sort of our like weaknesses or things we need to work on. And that is super duper uncomfortable. And it would, like, we all just want things to be easy. And when things get hard, it can be very tempting to quit. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to quit. And so, like, journeys are basically made up of successes and failures, and then sort of the middle bits where you work. That's like what a journey is. And so a lot of it is work. And if you've worked very hard and then you fail, it can feel like a big waste. But like, bad things, in my opinion, when things go wrong, is almost it's better for your growth, your personal growth, than successes are. Because you learn more and you gain resilience, you become a lot stronger emotionally. And like, a lot of the journey is about learning what doesn't work. And I think it's kind of hard in our society, because our society is sort of set up in a way that it makes you feel like you have to know what you're doing, like, immediately. Like, even say when you get out of like high school, you have to have a plan for what you're gonna do next. And people get like punished for doing it wrong. By which I mean, like, I did a 4-year degree in something. It turned out that it wasn't the thing I wanted a career in. And I am very, very lucky to have the financial support of my parents. But if I was paying for it myself, or if I had like more financial difficulty, I would be paying for that forever for trying something. Yeah, it's like that Thomas Edison quote where he says, "I didn't fail to make a light bulb 800 times, I just found 800 ways that it didn't work." Exactly. Or like in, what's it called? Meet the Robinsons? That's a theme in that. Honestly, every time I think about that, that's all I can think about is the Meet the Robinsons. But you learn more about, like, what doesn't work. And we learn by making mistakes. And if you're scared of making mistakes, you're never going to let yourself do anything. You know? It's not about, like, I tell you to expect good things, and good things will come. That doesn't mean that bad things won't also come. But it depends how you look at it. I love that movie so much. God, me too. And it can be really hard when you're in it, like right when it's happened, to be like, this is a good thing. It can be really hard, and that's okay, because we'll talk about that more. But usually, given some space and some time, you can look back at stuff and be like, you know what? That was actually very good for me. It is my belief, generally, that life is not about being happy all the time. I think life is about growing and learning. And that involves learning and growing through discomfort and failure and pain sometimes. All right, let's move on. So, this is talking about what we don't want to happen is a spiral downwards. Because what can happen, I sort of touched on this earlier, is if something goes wrong and part of you was kind of afraid and expecting something to go wrong, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy where we're kind of like, well, I expected that to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Like, basically you get this annoying little I told you so voice in your head. This can also be like, you can even get this from other people. If people are scared for you because they think something's not going to work out for you, and then suddenly they have proof that it's not working. Like, it can be even an external thing. You have navigated a lot of tough stuff. I have navigated so much tough stuff. Including teachers who didn't believe me. Yeah. As a little aside, I had a very tough time just in school in general, because school, the structure of it, I found very, like, suffocating. I was never a kid who would just listen to people because I was told I was supposed to listen to them, and that made my life difficult. Although I wouldn't go back and change it. I have always been a little rebel kid. And that made me who I am, and I'm very happy with who I am. So it's okay. But it can be easy. Like, this is, to be fair, this is something I still struggle with and am working on, where when bad things happen, it can be hard to separate yourself from them and not take them personally, because it can feel like, you know, what did I do to deserve this? Why wasn't I good enough to make this work, or something like that? And that's not what it's about. Most of the time when things go wrong, when people are awful to you, when things don't work out, it isn't about you. Sometimes it shows us, it can show you stuff that doesn't work. It can show you stuff you need to work on and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, we take things very personally when it's not personal. The universe is not out to get you, as much as it can feel like it is. And being able to see that is very important for your happiness. Because especially in my high school years, and even a little bit into university, I went through a lot of situations where it felt like things just went wrong, even though I tried my best. And that is something that has been monumentally hard for me to deal with, and I'm still dealing with it, where I tried my best and I felt like I got punished for it. You know, where people were awful to me, or I didn't get, you know, a job I really wanted, or something like that. And in every situation, pretty much, it was not about me. And those people that were awful to me clearly had a lot of work to do on themselves. And like, me stopping myself from letting myself be vulnerable because I was afraid that was going to happen again was not the answer. So being able to separate what is personal from what is not personal is very important, including teachers who didn't believe you and you proved them wrong. I also had a few stellar teachers. That's true. I also had a couple absolutely wonderful teachers. But unfortunately, the ones that were not as stellar were more numerous. Yeah, we'd like to view the world as a fundamentally fair place. We'd like to view our failures as our inability to do the right things, but unfortunately the world isn't super fair. That's exactly right. It's one of the things I, like, again, it sort of comes back to that I struggle with a lot, is when things just feel like they aren't fair. You know, I try my best to be kind and to do my best and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't automatically mean that things are gonna work out. So often the things that happen are due to outside factors you can't control, and viewing them as personal failures is counterproductive. Yeah, you totally, you hit the nail on the head. If you take this also, I think, can happen a lot with people who are kind of perfectionists, where if you view every single thing that goes wrong, if you view every single like time you didn't do as well on something as you thought you did, or you didn't get a job or whatever, like, that can crush you. Absolutely. And so I'm personally getting to a better and better place where I can see that if something isn't working, or if something didn't work out the way I wanted to, it's because it wasn't meant to. And it wasn't the right thing for me. And that can be people and jobs and all kinds of situations. And there's always something to be learned from it, even if in the moment it feels like you're being crushed by the weight of it all. Now back to the PowerPoint again. So progress isn't linear. You've probably heard that before, but it's one of those things where I feel like people hear it a lot, but on some level don't believe it. You're getting to a better and better place. I'm trying my best. That's all anyone can do. But I think people sort of what I said before. People believe, I think, that at some point they'll get to a place where like everything is going to be roses and wine from here on out. We'll have a happy ending at some point. And I don't think our society helps with that, because we believe that we're supposed to, you know, have a happy ending at some point and live happily ever after, but that's not what happens. Life is always more work and more struggle and more suffering, but it's also, there's always more happiness and joy and discovery and stuff like that to make. So it's all a journey. But progress is not linear in that we don't, it's not just you get from point A to point B in a straight line, and if you don't, you're doing something wrong. It's about exploring. Everything is about exploring and learning, and it can mean taking steps backwards. Fairy tales don't help. That's exactly right. So for me, progress is doing the best I can, and I'm always making progress if I'm doing the best I can. And sometimes doing the best I can is being super productive and taking care of myself really well and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes progress is just taking an entire day to play video games because that's literally all I could do that day. And that's okay. Like, you gotta be gentle on yourself. We're not meant to always be 100% productive and 100% perfect and always being useful. That's not what we're here for. Oh my god, I almost just yeeted my tea onto the ground. You see? Things happen for a reason. That just taught me that I shouldn't do what I was just doing with my tea, but I'm gonna do it again. Because it's comfortable. Anyway, and what can help with this too is realizing that we tell ourselves stories about everything. Literally everything you perceive is just that. It's your perception. Which means if you wish you weren't bothered by something, you can get there. And it means that whatever you believe about yourself or about other people or about the world can be changed. You're not stuck with the same stories, and it can be hard to get out of them. There can be things that we learned, you know, as children, and they served us by protecting us, even though they're rooted in fear. And it can be a story that you've had for so long that it feels like reality, but it's not. You know, we make our own reality, which means whatever beliefs you have, you can change them. Sippy. Alright, and here's more about that. Do you see, I can't remember what I put on my slides, so it's all just... So when you have a story that you're telling yourself, like, these are some questions you can ask yourself to see basically if it's a good story to tell yourself or not. So you can ask yourself, how is it serving you? And everything we believe about ourselves and the world and everything, it is all a belief that is serving us in some way, even if it's not serving us in a way that's necessarily positive. Fears protect us, and they keep us in places that are easy and comfortable so that we never have to be uncomfortable. And so every story you're telling yourself, you are getting some benefits from it, even though, like I said, it's oftentimes just that it lets you stay in a place that's easy and comfortable, even if it's not a very good place to be. And with that, you want to look at, what are you protecting? Because this is something I talked about with my therapist many times before I really let it in, which is that the people who are the most vulnerable are also the happiest. And that can be a very difficult thing to come to terms with if you're like me and you're like, I get it, but I can't risk it. And I think we like to think of ourselves as the exception in that situation because it gives us permission to not work on those things and to not have to be uncomfortable and to not have to do things that are hard or risk getting hurt, even though you're still going to get hurt regardless if you're afraid of getting hurt or not. So, and so another thing you can do along with this is if you take out the fear, is it still serving you? And that can be, again, things like, I mean, coming back to the vulnerability thing. Why didn't I want to be vulnerable? Well, it was because I was scared. I was scared of getting hurt. And if, without the fear, without being scared of being hurt, not being vulnerable was not serving me because it was stopping me from having the kind of relationships I wanted, and it was stopping me from connecting better with the people I wanted to connect with. So other than be like the fear and like other than serving the fear I had, it was doing nothing for me. So that is like an exercise you can do with yourself. And it can be hard and it can take a lot of work. And maybe another time we'll go over some other more like cognitive behavioral therapy type things. Because that's kind of what this is, I think. But a lot of times we tell ourselves things, and if you really, really stop to ask yourself if it's true, and if it's absolutely for sure true, and you know 100% it's true, and if you ask yourself these things, oftentimes you realize it might not be true, and it might just be a story you're telling yourself to protect yourself, and it's making you unhappy. So the example I had here was comparing yourself to others. So comparing yourself to others is something I used to do. I have an older sister who's about 2 years older than me, and she's great. And a lot of times especially in elementary school and in high school, I would compare myself to her, and it just made me super unhappy. And I got better and better at not comparing myself to her and not comparing myself to other people, and I became a lot happier. But if we look at, so how is it, if you're comparing yourself to others, so if you're looking at other success and wondering why you aren't that successful or what you're doing wrong or anything, we can look at, so how is that serving you? Which is, if you are looking at other people and saying, oh, they're just better than me, that you're giving yourself permission to never have to get better. You're giving yourself permission to never have to do the work. So you can continue being comfortable and, watching Netflix for 6 hours a day instead of working on the things you actually want to be working on. So you're still benefiting from that because you get to just give in to the little scared part of you that doesn't ever want to try anything new. And in that case, what you're protecting is, again, you're protecting yourself from having to look at what you actually need to work on and confronting the issues you have, which is hard and it's scary and it can be very painful. And I think that's the main one, actually. That's what you're protecting yourself from. I lost my train of thought a little bit there. But, that's what we're protecting. We don't like looking inwards. We don't really like dealing with our issues. And we even do that by telling ourselves that we're, fat and ugly and unlovable. That is still something you're doing to protect yourself from actually having to face the issues underlying that stuff. You're letting yourself remain in a place that's comfortable and it's easy, but it's not where you want to be. And so, without the fear of having to change things and to do work and to face what you're afraid to face, is it still serving you? Is it serving you to look at other people and compare yourself to them and ask why you're not better? Well, there is a positive way you can compare yourself to others. And that is looking at what other people do and figuring out what you like that they do and how you can incorporate it. But in that case, it's less about comparing yourself and more about making good role models. And again, the role model thing, it can quickly become unhealthy if you're using it as a way of just letting yourself be held back. Tip. And now we're going to talk about resilience, which is one of my favorite things. So I like thinking about how you can compare what you do to other people and how you can improve on it. Yeah, that's totally an okay thing to do. It is a good thing to have good role models, and it can be very helpful when you're working on your goals to see that someone has done what you want to do, because it means you can do it too. But if you're using it as a way to just make yourself feel bad, it is no longer productive, it's not serving you, and you need to stop. So this is a paraphrased quote from Winston Churchill, because it's not the exact words, but success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So that kind of comes back to the overall when things go wrong thing, is what people often don't see is people are successful probably went through all sorts of failures and disappointments and stuff like that, and they kept going. And that is the difference. When something goes wrong, you can either choose to give in and give up and say, well, I tried and I'm just not good enough, and now I've given myself permission to go back to my easier, comfortable life where I don't have to work on my flaws. So resilience is basically the capacity to recover quickly, and a lot of stuff you end up working on, up here it's kind of like a muscle, or like it's habits, where the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the faster you can recover sometimes. So resilience is the mental muscle of like how quickly can you bounce back from something going wrong. And I think a lot of people who are very entrenched in feeling like everything going wrong is personal have pretty low resilience, because they take a long time to recover because they're so busy trashing their own self-worth, basically. So every single time something goes wrong in your life, it is a chance for you to practice resilience. And it is a chance for you to work on being better. Being a better person. And I think one thing, I think this is on the next slide. Nope, it's not on the next slide. It's 2 slides away. But there's a balance, and we're going to talk about like my steps to recovering after something bad happens. But resilience is not compartmentalizing and pushing things down. That's not what it is. Resilience is not about not caring when things go wrong. It's not about not being bothered when things go wrong. It's about letting yourself be upset and then coming back from it. And we'll talk more about that later. But resilience is a very important skill to have, in my opinion, especially if you want to be successful, and especially if you're working towards anything that you have like a very personal investment in. Because doing something like streaming or YouTube or whatever, you're putting yourself out there and you're offering yourself up for criticism in a way. And it's not always direct. It might just be like you feel like you don't get a lot of views or stuff like that. And when that happens, it can feel really bad. It can feel awful. And it's okay for that to feel awful. But there's always a way to come back from that stuff and to learn from it. So this is a brief note on motivation. And this is something I've thought about more and more lately and sort of realized how I feel about it. I was listening to a guided meditation about motivation, and the guy who is speaking sort of said something briefly about how motivation is more like a state we return to or something like that. But it made me think, and I feel like what happens is people get this idea in their head that motivation is like an on-off switch, and it's like some days you feel it and you can get stuff done and it's great, and then other days if it's off and you don't have motivation, like I guess you just can't do anything. But that's not how it works. And motivation is not some mythical muse where we have no control over it and it comes and goes of its own volition. It doesn't work like that. Motivation is a base state you can teach yourself to return to. And that's not to say that every single day of your life practicing this, you're going to feel great all the time about doing everything you're doing. But it is sort of like a combination of falling back on well-established habits and finding and knowing what gets you going and what motivates you and having that like sort of within your reach. So now we're going to talk about Woz's Guide to Getting Over It. And this is, we'll talk about, I'll actually use the example of last Friday when this was happening. So here's my guide to getting over it. Number 1 is you gotta grieve. This is especially something, I think just something in general for people, but especially guys, where we're taught to just like, oh, just things just don't bother me. And if like things don't bother you, then you're really cool and you're strong and manly and whatever. But that's awful. That is an awful way to live, to just push down every single thing. And this is, by the way, this is like a guide for like anything that upsets you ever. Because another thing I would like to talk about sometime, but like that I've really had to work on, is letting yourself be upset about everything you need to be upset about. Even if it feels small and dumb and insignificant, like, just let it happen. Because that was something I used to do a lot, where I was like, I would feel upset about something, but I was like, that's a really stupid thing to feel upset about, and so I would just shove it down. And that did me absolutely no favors. And that sort of came back to the thing where I didn't want to be a burden on other people, and I felt like if I got upset at every little thing and made people deal with it, that they would leave. But when you are upset about something, about literally anything, you have to grieve. And that sounds very serious and very awful, because like we grieve over dead people, but I'm basically just saying, let yourself be upset. Let yourself feel it. Take time to yourself if you need to. Hang out with someone who's gonna hug you and rub your back and whatever if you need to. But just let yourself be sad or disappointed. Cry if you need to. You know, do whatever you need to do to get it out. That includes anger. If you need to, like, if you're angry, go somewhere where you're not going to express the anger in a harmful way to others or yourself, and just let yourself be angry for a bit. And the important thing of this is feelings sometimes are kind of like a cold or something, where it's like you just have to let it run its course, and it's gonna feel kind of awful. But if you don't let it run its course and you just keep trying to push it through, you are just going to make it worse, and then you're just going to suffer for longer. So you have to let yourself be upset. You have to let yourself grieve. And this is something I'm still working on, but I would encourage you to talk more about things that upset you with other people. That's like a whole nother talk some other time. But, you know, being able to talk about dumb or silly stuff that upsets you makes you feel so much better. So much better. And that kind of is going to be that's a whole other thing where being able to talk about feelings and stuff with other people can be a little bit of an art, because our feelings are about us, not about other people. Anyways, but let's talk about that some other time. So that's step one. Step one is you have to grieve. You have to let yourself feel bad. You have to let yourself be upset. You know, cry or punch a pillow or like have a bath. That's what I do. And then we go to step two, which is once you feel like the intensity has calmed down a bit, or even like towards like at any point you feel like you're ready for it, you indulge in just absolutely indulgent, yeah. You engage in indulgent self-care. And this means you do things that are self-care, which I mean, like if you need to go eat like a scoop of ice cream, go friggin' eat a scoop of ice cream. I like having baths. You know, if you want to like this is what happens. I just like I'm like there's so many other topics I want to talk about, but in my opinion, self-care is broken down into two types, which is like super indulgent self-care and kind of like maintenance self-care, which is like one is just doing things that give you instant gratification and that feel good, which is like eating ice cream and, you know, binge watching Netflix and stuff like that. The thing about indulgent self-care is you don't want to let it run rampant. You don't want to do it all the time. And then there's like maintenance self-care, which in my opinion is doing stuff that isn't necessarily instant gratification, but it's sort of long-term gratification. It's kind of like self-maintenance. So I do stuff like I go for walks, I do meditation, I try to eat good food, and I try to avoid food that does not make me feel good. So when I say indulgent self-care, I don't mean like go eat an entire carton of ice cream and like binge watch Netflix for 2 days. That's overdoing it. And you probably don't need that much. Blue sky, passing clouds, yes. And guard your feelings time from unintended intrusion by others. Definitely. So another part of the grieve process, as Warrior Girl is saying, is you need to guard yourself in that time when you're grieving from other people. Other people can be really helpful. Like if you find physical connection to be helpful in that time, that's great. But a lot of people are uncomfortable when other people are upset and they want to fix it. Like I'm definitely guilty of this. Like honestly, like everyone I can think of in my life is probably guilty of this to some degree, because when we see someone upset or uncomfortable, we just want to help, especially if we care about them. But that's not always what people need. And especially if you need time to like get out these feelings, you need to be able to tell people like, I appreciate you want to help, but it's not the time for this. And that especially goes for problem solving. A lot of people, when they don't know how to help, they default to problem solving, which is just like, oh, well, you could have done this, and maybe you should have done this, and like next time you can do this. And when you're in the grieving state, that is the opposite of helpful. You will often feel worse because you might feel like you already know it. You might feel like they're not listening to you. And like overall, you might just like, it usually just doesn't help. If you're busy trying to just deal with the feeling and you're not ready to problem solve, having someone else try to force their problem solving on you so they can feel better about themselves is not helpful. And we could talk about that more some other time. But, you know, guard your time extensively. Anyway, so we have grieve and then indulgent self-care, which I usually recommend indulgent self-care can be as long as you need, but I encourage you to try to only do it for as long as you need. Too late, ate all the ice cream, she should have warned me sooner. Yeah, you might feel invalidated. Exactly. So it's not in the grieving process is not the time to let people try to solve your problems for you. Anyway, so back to the indulgent self-care again. I just encourage you to self-care, but be aware of when it is no longer self-care. Eating a scoop of ice cream, self-care in my opinion. Eating a carton of ice cream, that is not self-care. You will feel worse afterwards. So, and this can take some practice of knowing what is good self-care, but it's usually like the things that you kind of want to just like default to when you're like, I just want to eat like chips and watch Netflix. That is okay. Just you want to do it in as small portions as are actually helpful, because overdoing it will make you feel worse in the long run. So now you've grieved, you've cried yourself silly and punched some pillows, and you've eaten some ice cream and watched some Netflix. Now we move on to, this is the, I mean, they're all important points, but this is the part where I feel like people don't get it and don't realize that motivation is something you can control, which is you then have to do some refocusing. And this also, oh, 1 second. Refocusing also takes some trial and error, because refocusing is about taking time to gently guide yourself back into the mind state where you're like, what was I working on? What do I want to be working on? How can I think about this in a way that is a positive thing for my goals? And this can take some time, and it's okay to refocus and just work towards your goal again and come back to dealing with that situation later. You just don't want to put it on the back burner forever, because then you are not dealing with it, and it's just going to make you feel worse long run. But so refocusing for me is I do things like, I have 2 particular books lately that I am reading that just make me feel like really good and like I can go do things. Or you might have like I have a sort of motivational playlist, and I listen to it on my morning walk, usually before streams, to like help get my energy up. Basically anything that makes you feel like you could go out and conquer the world. Whenever you find something like that, try to make a note of it so you have access to it for the refocusing part. Because that is the part where people, once they feel like they've dealt with the past situation, even if they haven't actually dealt with it, that's the part that people miss, is refocusing. And we talked about this before, but I'm going to reiterate it, which is, it's not you get motivation and then you do things. You do things and then they give you motivation, and then you can do more things. So we can sort of trick this into making us feel better by doing good things with our actions. And that also can take some practice, is doing like a bit of a productive thing when we don't feel like it. But again, so refocusing can be like reading books that like really work for you. They can be looking at people who inspire you. And again, this is, you got to be careful, because you want these to be good role models, not just people you are fixating on as some sort of measure against how good of a person you are, or how good you are at stuff. So it can be any sort of stuff like that. There's probably a lot of other ways you can do it. I just know the ways that have been working for me lately. And I had to do this sort of stuff on Wednesday, which is, I felt awful for like 2 hours after it happened. And while it was happening, I laid on my bed and like did nothing for a bit, because I was just feeling awful, and I was just letting myself feel awful. And then when I started feeling better, I think I went downstairs and had some ice cream, and my wonderful mother, I talked to her a little bit about it, and she did go into trying to problem solve mode, and I stopped her, which she was very gracious about. And then I might have even had a bath, like, and maybe watched some She-Ra. I don't really remember. But I definitely did the indulgent self-care. And then when I sort of felt like I was in a bit of a better place, I went and reread one of the books I really like. And then I was able to get back into a place where I wanted to go back to doing work and stuff like that. And throughout this entire process, you need to be gentle and patient on yourselves. You might need longer to grieve than you think you will. And this can vary from situation to situation. You might need a little more self-care. Like, I have entire days sometimes where I just can't do anything, and that's okay. But if it lasts more than like a couple days, I would encourage you to try to move to the next step and get yourself back in gear, because that's when this kind of stuff can run rampant and it gets away from you, and then you are not working towards what you want to be working on. So just be patient with yourself. Give yourself lots of time. I honestly find when I'm okay with taking today off, I don't need to get anything like, there's nothing pressing for me to get done today. I can have all day to grieve if I want. I usually don't need all day. But having that there already makes me feel better, because I don't have any pressure to like, oh, I have to go work on things. And then step 5 is profit. We get back on track, we get back to being productive, we go work on our goals. And then we repeat. And I believe, so that's my recap, which is, when bad things happen, it's part of the learning process, it's part of the succeeding process. When bad things happen, it's not a reflection of you as like a success or a failure. It's an opportunity for you to become more resilient, so you get to work out that muscle. And the kind of important thing, well, I didn't add this, but the 2 most important things I want you to take away from the Getting Over It guide is, you are allowed to be upset, and you should be upset, and you should let yourself feel it. And along with that is, you can get back to being motivated and productive. You are very capable of doing that, and that is something within your control. So that's that part. We have one more section to get through after this, but I think I'll take another break and go to the bathroom really quick, and we'll play a little bit more Slime Rancher. This is going longer than I thought it would, which is good, because I was worried it would actually be too short, but clearly that wasn't a worry I needed to have in here. I'll even though I'm not going to be gone very long, I'll put on the nice music for you guys. There we go. Where's the music? There's the music. Whoops, not that one. And I will be right back. Alright, I am back again. Turn Slime Rancher back. Alright, so we'll play this probably like, I don't know. Oh goodness, we're really getting close to 1 o'clock already. I don't think the last section should take as long. That was the longest section. We'll play this for a bit. See how we feel. What my zippy. My my tea. Okay, also my throat needs a little break from all that talking. That was a good one. I was excited to talk about that one. And I think I need to go get Q-berries. Yeah. And just a little reminder, if there's ever, like, obviously if you're comfortable sharing, if there's ever situations and stuff like that where you feel like it applies to what I'm talking about and you want to talk about it a little bit, I am totally open to that. But for now, the only thing I'm open to is getting Q-berries. That's all I want. I will say after, like, my throat is feeling a lot better, but after doing, like, a long talk, it does sort of feel, a little overextended, but that's okay. Don't do it! I'm growing my empire. The only problem with this is, like, I don't actually get to play that much Slime Rancher, which is kind of sad, because now I just want to play Slime Rancher. I think there was a Q-berry thing over here, but there was also one... Peas! 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 I just need one! Please! That's scary. God's sakes. Oh! Hard one. Hard one. I want that. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day so far. God, this game is pretty. I think there's a Gordo down one of these side things. Don't know where though. Anybody got plorts? You got plorts? You got plorts? Oh! I heard someone. Where was it? Where? God damn it. Alright, back up we go. Boop, boop, bop, beep. Guys, getty points. Oh, just kidding, that's just slime. The slimes produce slime. But slime. Asking. Serious question. This is called the one-hand gamer stance. It's an advanced maneuver. I wouldn't try it at home. Oh god. Aww. I was hoping the phosphor slimes disappear during the day, but I was hoping that if I cross them with the pink ones then they wouldn't disappear, but I guess they still do. Which is unfortunate. So I'll have to get the solar shield. Although, before I do that, there's also the cave over here I think you can put them in, but you have to unlock it. How much is it? A lot of money. A dark and gloomy cavern above the sea, and a likely first chapter, not novel of mine. Heck yeah. I'm gonna write a book one day, guys. Just so you know. You can all have a part in it, if you want. It'll be the story of my life, with some embellishments. Okay, I mean, like... 1700 isn't, like, unheard of for, how much money I'm currently getting. I was not a huge fan of that sound that just happened. Ugh, let's start over again. Book! You can all have part of my book. I could get this, but it's like $400 that I could just spend on something else, you know? Save money, live better, Walmart. There's also the, oh god. Okay. She just is telling me she wants to buy stuff from me. Oh, I don't have the access to the rewards yet. That's fine. Walmart! God, these boys are fast when they want to be. Guess we'll do like a little, I'll leave those for now. I'm gonna do a little bit of exploring. that a slime statue? It is. Who did that? No, it's just money laying on the floor, basically. Dash boots. Ooh! That would be nice. Fashion forward. Yeah, because there's lots of things I need money for, so I don't think I want to buy the thing to keep the phosphorus slimes. Okay, well, I don't know. Definitely would like an upgrade to the vacuum thing. Well, I don't know how many places I can go yet since I haven't unlocked any of the doors. Right? Because I can't go through there. Over there also doesn't work. So I guess I'm just collecting money for that time being. Yeah, maybe I will just get the freaking thing. It might be easier. Alright. I've convinced myself. I'll do it. I'll have to wait till tonight to, one phosphor plort. Wow. There's a lot of, things here. I'll take all of these berries, thank you. Oh. I can make, one, like, crossed slime right now. I guess these. Bless me. Yeah, well, whatever. We'll just spend the money. It's okay. All in the name of getting more money. Gotta spend money to make money, you know what I'm saying? You look hungry. You all look hungry. Hi! It's a boy! Hi! It's a boy that I like. That I forgot to give VIP because I meant to do it. How are you doing today? I'm just like getting towards the end of my stream, I think. I'm very full of tea. And I'm farming some slimes. There we go. Now he'll be safe too. The experiment. Eat it. Like this. Come on. Okay, ready? And then you eat that. And then you eat that, I said. Oh my god! Oh, there, I did put a net on it. I was like, he's gonna escape and die. And then you do this. Eat this. I am so smart. Did you? Right, aren't you hungry? You look hungry. Eat it. Thank you. I do it one at a time, so these... I don't know if they get hungry again just by, if you, like, when they transform. I'm good, just woke up, so I'm glad I got the end of your stream. Really? Oh god. Oh god. I'm sorry. You're fine. Well, good afternoon. I've been going to bed at like 10 o'clock, like an absolute old lady, and it's been wonderful. Also, I was so tired at like 8:30 last night that I could have just gone to sleep. Slimes are way cuter than the name of the game makes them sound. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I think slime... I don't know, I feel like in some games slimes are really cute little like enemies, and then in other games they're... No! I need that. Oh wait, there's a punch. What? What? Oh my god, I didn't even realize. That would have made my life so much easier. Yes. The mutations are working. I feel like slimes can also be very not cute, to be fair. It's just too many iterations of them. No! I can eat this anyway. I might even, like, transition back to doing my PowerPoint thing, like, soonish, because I want to make sure I have enough time to get through everything I wanted to talk about. It's too. I'll answer that in a sec. I just get too excited. I have too many things to talk about. Yeah. God, I love how big they get. I can't believe it didn't die doing that. Dangerous. It's a dangerous world out here. So, yeah, here you go. I'm just curious too. Actually, wait for a sec. Like I don't know. I feel like I need at least 20 minutes to make sure. Jump over them again. Do a job. There we go. Yeah. They're just too spiky. They're like the only ones that hurt you. Like at least of the starting boys in the starting areas. Anybody want carrots? I got extras. You can have some. It's just like a big mass of pointy kitties. I'm pretty sure if you give them their favorite food, you get like twice as many quarts. You have your own about that. Settled on California, Benedict. You're right. Homemade hollandaise wasn't hot it. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Did you try? Did you try to make it? Did it go badly? Maybe your problem was you wanted hollandaise sauce in the first place. If possible, please acquire the following for future studies. My thanks. No problem, Victor. I can do that. In 20 minutes, maybe. 6. Oh, okay, 6 phosphorin kitties and, what, 13? 13 pink ones. Or sure, yeah, I tried to make it and used too much butter. It was salty as fuck. Ugh. It's just... I mean, I'm not super surprised that someone was like, I bet I could just mix egg and butter and it'll be good. I'm not that surprised, but like, God. Yeah, that's the face I made when I tasted it. I mean, you tried, right? It's all, we're learning things. It's all a process of learning. Wait, no, I can't have that. I need almost lots. Carrots are more important. Yeah, it was egg, butter, vinegar, salt, and cayenne pepper. Is there raw egg? Peeper? Throw a little cayenne pepper in there. It's pretty good. I don't remember. I mean, I guess it has to be raw egg, right? Oh, God. It's even worse. I don't like thinking too hard about hollandaise sauce. And then I need the kitties. And then I need the phosphorus, for which I need nighttime to come. Okay, but it's getting there. Yeah, it's just the egg yolks. I mean, to be fair, I love egg yolks. I cooked egg yolks. They're delicious. Damn it! I need kitties. I need kitties. Oh, alright. And then you add really hot butter so it cooks it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, egg yolk is pretty tasty. I love, whenever I go to breakfast places, I make like a little sandwich. With, over medium eggs, usually. Peeper. I hate that, thank you. Oh, God. Oh, God. Maybe there's just a giant sea monster down there that feeds exclusively on slimes. I think that's what happens. Yeah, I feel like ultimately having the pink slimes is really like not that useful because they're everywhere. Other than that, I chopped up some tomato and onion, buttered my English muffin, put on the egg, guacamole, queso avocado, and then chopped tomato and onion. That does sound really good. I'm probably gonna have... I might have avocado and egg, like, toast for lunch, because now you're talking about it, and now I want it. But no hollandaise sauce. It's joke, yeah. I miss the peeper. Listen, we'll go look at them on Wednesday. Oh, there's more carrots. Nope. You got that one. It's God, look how big the moon is. I think there's slimes on the moon. Oh shoot, there's a. Okay, I need these. I also like how, like, when you're putting these through the things so you can give them to the people who want them, you're just like shooting them through a tube. Alright, there we go. I don't need like 2 of these. There we go. Okay, I might just finish this thing, sell whatever plorts I have here, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. God, like, they're just, look at that! That's what they're going into! It seems wrong. But I mean, I get money for it, so like, that's cool. I feel like there's a lot of games that, like, they're fun if you just don't think about them too hard. If you think about them too hard, you're gonna have a bad time. Here you go. Gotta feed the mass. It's just one chicken. God, there's literally more in here than I can carry. We're gonna be rich. I don't like, though, that if you... I don't like, why can't I have 2 slots of pink plorts, huh? Why can I only have 1? Oh my god. Oh, fuck. See, now if I hadn't bought that, well, I could get the upgrade that's over there. Okay. We'll go back to the PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint presentation. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're gonna talk about the last bit of stuff I wanted to talk about, which is when good things happen. So we talked about, like, how do you handle it and what can, like, go wrong and what can go right when bad things happen, but I also want to talk about, like, when good things happen, because I think there are still some pitfalls with that kind of stuff. Yeah, we had the bad egg and this is the good egg. I'm the good egg. So we're going to talk about the good thing that happened to me lately, which was me hitting affiliate, which was super duper exciting. We're going to talk about this thing called the dopamine drop-off. We're going to talk about expectations and entitlement, and we're going to talk about what the actual impact is of stuff. And I kind of have to pee, so I might just go do that really fast, actually, because I just am drowning in tea, so you guys can have the nice music again for a little bit. You can do some vibing while you wait. But I feel like that music's kind of loud, but I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, I'm back. Gonna make eggs. I made just 2. God, someone's making food downstairs and it smells really good and I want some. Anyways, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 2. So when good things happen. So what happens when you hit a goal? So I got affiliate, and what happened was it was really exciting, and then I got kind of overwhelmed, just with all the things I had to do with it, and then I got kind of scared, and the reason was because I was worried that people were super excited to support me, and then once I'd sort of hit affiliate, it would be less exciting to support me, and then people wouldn't want to support me, and I'd stagnate, basically. That's what I was scared of. And there's what can happen with goals is we talked about this before, where whenever you hit like a little goal, you get some dopamine for it. And usually the amount of dopamine you get has to do with your expectations. So we went back to the like thing where we talked about the two groups that got a reward, and they either got $5 rather than $1, or they could have gotten $1, and they got $5 when they could have gotten 25. And even though they got the same amount of money both times, in the group where they got the bigger reward, they got that dopamine. So dopamine is the reward and motivation hormone. It's like the happy hormone. And again, reaching goal milestones gives you dopamine. Achieving things gives you dopamine, which is great. But what can happen is if you hit a goal that you like have been working towards, and you have like finished a goal, there's no more milestones, which means no more dopamine. Now this like can have to do with because the thing what happened to me is it's not like I reached my like really big goal. I just reached one of my more like short-term goals, which was reach affiliate. So it felt really good, but it also felt scary. And after reaching it, I was afraid I wasn't going to achieve anything else, which is a little different than the dopamine drop off, but it's something I want to talk a little bit more about later. Yeah, so this is the problem I find. I think the affiliate program is great, but I think one of the problems is that affiliate is very attainable for like anyone. Like getting the 3 average viewers and the 50 followers, like in the grand scheme of things, it's not super hard. Like people can do it without really even like I'm not trying to discredit the work that people put towards getting it, but like if you really wanted to, you could do follow for follow up to 50 followers and then get 3 of your friends to watch your stream, and voila, you have affiliate. So it's not, and it's not like I'm trying, I don't want it to sound like it's not something you should be excited about, but what I'm trying to say is partner is a huge step up from affiliate. And sometimes I see people who reach affiliate going like, oh, like next up, like partner, and that's great, but it's going to take you a really long time, like probably years, to get to partner. And like I'm saying here, like it's easier to work towards goals when we have external rewards. So affiliate is great because it gives you all these rewards for like your progress, and it feels really good because it feels like you've been validated by an external source. But the problem with that is the next external reward is partner. And like we sort of talked about before, if you worry, like if you're too focused on reaching the like the dream, then you're not going to get those dopamine hits as often from achieving smaller things, and so you're not going to feel good about it. Because like right now, I want to get partner, but it's like barely a thought in my brain right now. My goal is I'm focused on 10 average viewers. And before even that, I'm focused on getting 8 average viewers in the last like 30 days. So because I think it becomes this sort of artificial thing where again it's easier where if people kind of set goals for you and give you rewards for those goals. So I think that's why it's easier for people to stick with streaming till they get affiliate than it is for people to continue streaming after that all the way up to partner. And because getting to partner requires a lot more work and a lot more failures, basically. But like, I think what can happen with this is people who have not broken their goals further might get affiliate and then sort of look up at partner and feel super overwhelmed. So, the other thing that can happen with like goals, and this is the main thing I wanted to talk about, because for some reason when I was writing down all the stuff I wanted to talk about when bad things happen, I also, my brain was like, I want to talk about the pitfalls of good things happening too. And I think this is why, which is like it's sort of like the getting started thing, which is like making that big first step, which can feel great. It's not like everything is going to be great from here on out. And I feel like the same thing can happen when you hit goals, especially if you hit goals more quickly than you thought, because just because you reached one goal very quickly does not mean you're necessarily going to reach the next goal just as quickly, because again, progress isn't linear. And I feel like having good things happen, or having like hitting goals quicker than we thought they would, can give us this like it's all up here from now on moment where we believe we've like figured it out and we've got it from here, which is not the case. There's always more things to learn. There's always more things to figure out. You never, oh my god, my alarm's really bright. You're never done learning, and you never, I don't think, really stop having to figure things out. And what can happen with this too is you can get something like a false start happening where things go really well for a little bit and then they kind of like nosedive. And that is especially a time where it can feel like, oh my god, I've done something wrong. I'm not cut out for this. And so, like, one of the things I want to talk about with goal setting in this sense is like, if you hit a goal, like I think you guys, I showed you guys my like long term sort of plan where it's like I want to get partner and I want to get like 100 average viewers, whatever. But I've already broken it down into like I want 10 and then 15 and then like 20 and then 30 and then 40. So I've already broken it down into smaller goals, and I super duper encourage you guys to do that too. But when something good happens, and if you hit a goal sooner than you thought you would, do not move your goalposts. By which I mean, if a goal you thought would take several months took like a week, do not expect that your next goal will also be completed in a week, because you are setting yourself up for disappointment. You're setting your expectations in a way where if you don't achieve them, you are not going to get that dopamine. And there is a bit of a, like, I also talked about, you don't want to expect nothing, obviously, but setting your expectations too high, and more importantly, feeling entitled to good things happening, is setting yourself up for feeling bad. Because often what happens is, if we're in the mindset where we can feel entitled about stuff, we're not as well equipped to deal with when things go wrong. Because like the in my head, the sort of opposite of entitlement is gratitude. And having gratitude is super important, and good expectations combined with gratitude will get you where you want to go. Good expectations combined with entitlement will not get you where you want to go. Because, like, there's a difference in expecting something to happen and still getting the, like, bit of surprise and excitement when it does happen, and there's a difference between something happening and you don't feel as good about it because you expected it in a way. I'm having a bit of trouble trying to explain this distinction. It makes sense in my head. I hope it makes sense to you guys. But basically, another sort of little tidbit along with the like people who are more vulnerable are happier. People who are more grateful are happier also. And that is a good thing to practice. And there's a whole bit in this book I really like talking about how expecting good things and believing good things will happen combined with gratitude and faith. So believing things are going to happen and feeling grateful for those things happening, that is a wonderful attitude to have. And you still get to have the surprise and the excitement when those things happen. And you also get to be a little bit blown away when your faith pays off, which is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. But what I'm saying here though is not that you shouldn't like be excited when you hit goals or when good things happen, but what you don't want to do is kind of like let it go to your head or change your course. You don't want to stagnate, I think. I'm afraid of stagnating. Which, and I think that's part of the reason I wanted to talk about this, which is when something good happens or when you achieve something, celebrate, and then it kind of goes back to the other thing I was talking about where it's like refocus. Have your celebration, like if we go back here. Hold on. It would be for me it would be like number 1, celebrate. Well, I guess it would be like number 1 and 2 is celebrate. And then number 3, or like celebrate and reward yourself. And then refocus. Oh goodness. Oh god, I went too far. Okay, we're almost done. Because when you stop expecting you have to work hard and keep learning, that is when you're already done for, basically. Also, what to expect.com. I think that's actually a site about pregnancy. And another big thing, when I was writing this, one thing I was thinking about in particular is actually the practice of hosting and rating people, where people sometimes, especially with raids, I think people sometimes think that getting raids will like boost them forward, and I don't think that's necessarily true. Like if you got rated for 100 viewers, that does not mean you're gonna have 100 viewers from here on out. And I think this comes back to the refocusing bit. So we've celebrated, we get to be excited, we get to feel that. And then for refocusing, we want to look at how has this moved you forward? So, if something unexpectedly good happens, what could it mean? And this is where you, like, it's okay to be like, this is the best case scenario, and even say, like, this is the worst case scenario, but you want to focus on, like, what's most realistically going to happen. Because, again, what can happen is if you were rated for 100 viewers and you now believe you're going to get 100 viewers, having that really high expectation is going to set you up to not be as excited if you reach something that's good but not as good. So if you got a couple more viewers from that raid, that would be amazing in my book. But if you expect a ton from it, it's not gonna get you anywhere happy. How can you best capitalize it as another good one. If you have momentum and you're feeling good and you've hit a goal, it would be like, it's great to be able to channel that into more productivity. I'm not saying you should like work to death and work all the time and be 100% efficient, but being able to take excitement and turn it into something you can share with others and that can push you forward even more, that is wonderful. And along with that is, what are you going to do next? That is, I think, an especially good one where it's like, all right, I've done this. Like, I feel awesome about it. Like, what am I gonna do next? Like I think it can be a good time to like plan out more what you want to do in that time. And sort of like what I was saying before, when good things happen, you want to use it as motivation, but you don't want to use it as like a given thing that is going to happen again, because you don't know. It's sort of like the Christmas bonus like principle or whatever, where bonuses feel really good when they're unexpected. If you start expecting them, they feel less good. And I think, oh, here's my recap. So, absolutely celebrate when good things happen, but you want to stay focused on what is ahead. You want to keep pushing. You don't want to stagnate. You don't want to entertain entitlement. So, do not move your goalposts of your expectations. And you want to be grateful for what happened, but not feel entitled to it happening again or happening on the same scale. And remind yourself of the actual impact and how this is like in a positive way too. Whereas like, what could this get me like going forward? But also like, is my level of excitement proportionate? Not to say you should be less excited, but manage your expectations. Don't expect nothing, but do manage your expectations. Thank you for the redeem your message. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah. And I think that's the end. That's my whole presentation. And I think we might as well go noodle around again in Slime Rancher for a little bit, I guess. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, claps, hit me up. We have like 5 more minutes, so we'll do 5 more minutes of Slime Rancher. In we go. Oh, I turned off the sound by accident. Well, not by accident. I wanted to have the fun, good music on. Yep. Alright. That felt good. My throat kind of hurts. And I am hungry. It's all good. We got my slimes. We finished the PowerPoint. It was like a good amount. I did a good estimate. Universe rewarded me for my excitement. Thank you. Yeah. The only thing that happens with these streams is like usually for a little bit afterwards I have to like calm down a little bit. Like it's kind of like the oops. It's like the when good things happen. Like I usually feel really good when I end a stream and I have to like calm down a little bit so I can focus on doing other things. As it turns out, sometimes I think excitement can be just as like detrimental to you as whatever the opposite of excitement is. Incitement. Ooh, and I think we can end this with unlocking the old cave. It's pretty neat. Unlocker cave. Actually, wait, let me see what's in. Wait, what's my pet cactus? I'm gonna not read these because my throat hurts a little bit. I bought a cactus from you, sort of. Can I? No, I wanna... Wait, where do I buy stuff? Oh wait, is it here? No, this is... No. Where do I buy things? This game is super cool. I might check it out later. I love this game and definitely recommend it. It said I could buy a thing, but I don't know where. I don't remember where to get upgrades. I thought it was here, but maybe not. Whatever. We're gonna go, well, no, I can do both. I can get the grotto and also get another pen. Oh, let's go explore. I don't remember how to get keys, but I need to get keys. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good time today. I had a good time today. I have a lot of editing to do. But thankfully, I am highly motivated to do it. Yeah, I think I definitely need the keys. I don't remember how to get them, but that's okay. For now, we'll just keep on ranching. We'll just keep on keeping on. Okay, go ahead. Alright, I think we will end it there. Hop. 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 We'll take one more spin through the Rocky Cat boys. And then... Ow. Alright. And I think we'll end it there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I'll put on the fancy music again when I end it. But thank you for coming. If you're not already in the Discord, there's a link below if you want to join the Discord. I also would love it if you wanted to follow me, so I can keep you updated when I'll be live. And you can come learn more things from me on Wednesdays. We do Wildlife Wednesdays, Witchcord Discord, which we'll be playing Subnautica, and we talk about a bunch of animal biology stuff, including how well the animals in the game reflect what actually goes on in the real world. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye. I'm gonna go eat some eggs now.